The summary of The One Thing, the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results. Brought to you from Click-Through College. In The One Thing, authors Gary Keller and Jay Papasan challenge popular productivity and success concepts, dismantling 6 common productivity myths. Myth 1. The belief in the disciplined person. The first myth that Keller and Papasan debunk is the belief in the disciplined person. The common perception is that success requires constant, unwavering discipline in every area of life. The authors challenge this idea, arguing that the key to success is not constant discipline but the cultivation of good habits through short-term discipline. Discipline is certainly important, but it is most effective when it is applied with intention and focus. When you focus your discipline on a specific task or goal, your one thing, you can develop a habit. Over time, this habit requires less conscious effort and discipline to maintain. The authors illustrate this principle with various examples, demonstrating how people who are successful in their fields have developed habits that support their success. They argue that these individuals may not be disciplined in all areas of their lives, but they have cultivated the necessary habits that drive their success. This concept liberates us from the unrealistic expectation of needing to be disciplined all the time. Instead, it redirects our energy and focus towards habit formation, which is a more effective and sustainable path to success. Myth 2. The need for a balanced life. The second myth the authors tackle is the need for a balanced life. In our pursuit of success, we often strive to give equal attention to all areas of our lives. We try to balance work, family, health, hobbies, and personal growth, believing that this balance is the key to fulfillment and success. However, the authors argue that this pursuit of balance can actually lead to mediocrity. When we divide our attention equally among various tasks, we dilute our focus and energy. Instead of excelling in one area, we achieve average results in many. Instead of balance, the authors suggest striving for counterbalance. This involves focusing intently on your one thing for a period of time, then allowing other areas of your life to take priority as needed. This approach acknowledges the reality that different areas of our lives require different levels of attention at different times. Myth 3. Multitasking. The third myth is that multitasking is productive. In our fast-paced, high-demand society, multitasking is often seen as a valuable skill. However, the authors argue that multitasking is not only ineffective but also detrimental to our productivity and success. Citing various research studies, the authors demonstrate that our brains are not designed to handle multiple tasks at once. When we try to multitask, our attention is divided, and we make more mistakes, take longer to complete tasks, and produce lower quality work. Instead of multitasking, the authors advocate for single tasking. By focusing on one task at a time, we can improve our efficiency, accuracy, and the quality of our work. Myth 4. The disciplined life. The fourth myth is the idea of leading a disciplined life. Much like the first myth, this myth revolves around the notion that one needs to be disciplined in every aspect of their lives to succeed. The authors argue that this isn't the case. You don't need to be disciplined in everything. You need enough discipline to form the right habits. Once those habits are established, they can carry you further than discipline alone. The authors emphasize that it's more about strategic and focused discipline, not universal discipline. Myth 5. Willpower is always on will call. The fifth myth is the belief that willpower is always available whenever we need it. However, the authors explain that willpower, much like a muscle, gets fatigued with overuse. It's a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. Understanding this helps us use our willpower more strategically. By tackling our most important tasks, our one thing, early in the day when our willpower is at its peak, we can maximize our productivity and success. It also means that we need to manage our energy and not waste our willpower on less important tasks. The authors provide practical tips on how to replenish and conserve willpower, such as maintaining a healthy lifestyle, getting enough sleep, and eating well. They argue that by managing our willpower effectively, we can increase our productivity and achieve our goals more easily. Myth 6. Big is bad. The final myth that Keller and Papasan debunk is the fear that thinking big is unattainable and therefore bad. Many of us shy away from setting big goals out of fear that we won't achieve them. We play it safe by setting smaller, more achievable goals, believing that this is the prudent path to success. However, the authors argue that this mindset limits our potential and prevents us from achieving extraordinary results. They assert that thinking big is not only good but also necessary for significant success. By setting big goals, we push ourselves out of our comfort zones and challenge ourselves to think creatively and strive harder. This doesn't mean that big goals are achieved overnight. Instead, the authors propose breaking down big goals into smaller, manageable steps or tasks. This approach makes big goals seem less daunting and more attainable. The authors also discuss the importance of aligning our big goals with our purpose or passion. When we are passionate about our goals, we are more motivated to overcome obstacles and persist in the face of setbacks. By coupling big thinking with purpose and passion, we can achieve extraordinary results. This concept encourages us to dream big and not limit ourselves. It prompts us to look beyond the realm of what we think is possible and strive for what we truly desire. It's not about achieving every big goal we set but about pushing our boundaries and realizing our full potential. After debunking these myths, the authors introduce the central concept of the book, the focusing question. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary? This question helps narrow focus to the most critical task or goal that will make other tasks easier or irrelevant. The focusing question is a tool to be used in every area of life, including personal life, work, and relationships. By continually asking this question, one can identify the most important goal in each facet of life and channel efforts towards it. The domino effect is another crucial concept introduced in the book. This principle illustrates how focusing on one small, manageable task or goal can trigger a chain reaction leading to larger successes. Identifying and focusing on the lead domino can set off this chain reaction. Time blocking is a recommended practice in the book. The authors advise dedicating specific time each day to work on the one thing without interruptions. This practice ensures prioritization of the most important tasks and safeguards against distractions. Keller and Papasan discuss 4 significant productivity thieves: inability to say no, fear of chaos, poor health habits, and an environment that doesn't support goals. They offer practical solutions to combat these thieves and make the one thing a reality. In the concluding sections, the authors underscore the importance of focusing on the single most impactful task or goal. They advocate for a mindset shift from valuing busyness and multitasking to valuing focus and prioritization. The One Thing is more than just a guide to productivity. It's a guide to living a meaningful life. It argues that success isn't just about achieving goals but also about focusing on what's most important. By focusing on the one thing, we can lead more intentional, fulfilling, and successful lives. The book serves as a roadmap to success, offering practical tools to help readers identify their one thing, focus their efforts, and achieve their goals. Its central message is simple yet powerful. Focus on one thing at a time, and you'll achieve extraordinary results. The transformative guide challenges conventional wisdom and provides a simpler, more effective path to success. The book's central tenets and practices provide the reader with a methodology to help navigate the noisy, distraction-filled modern world, focusing on what truly matters. This focus enables the achievement of extraordinary results in every area of our lives. The authors emphasize the importance of maintaining health, relationships, and personal life while pursuing your one thing. They point out that these areas are the counterbalances to your focused work. While you may need to spend less time on them during intense periods of focus, they should never be completely ignored. One of the book's core arguments is that success is sequential, not simultaneous. You can't do everything at once, and attempting to do so only leads to stress, burnout, and mediocre results. Instead, success requires identifying the most important task at any given moment, completing it, and then moving on to the next. This process of prioritizing and tackling tasks sequentially is how extraordinary results are achieved. The One Thing also highlights the role of purpose and meaning in achieving success. According to the authors, having a clear sense of purpose in your work and life provides the motivation necessary to persist in the face of obstacles and setbacks. It's not enough to know what your one thing is. You must also understand why it matters to you. In terms of practical application, the book suggests starting each day by asking yourself the focusing question in relation to your work and personal life. This practice helps ensure that you stay focused on your one thing throughout the day and prevents you from getting sidetracked by less important tasks or distractions. In addition to daily application, the authors also recommend using the focusing question for long-term planning. By asking yourself what the one thing you can do in the next 5 years, 1 year, or month to move closer to your ultimate goals, you can create a roadmap for long-term success. The authors acknowledge that applying the principles of the one thing is not always easy. It requires discipline, commitment, and the willingness to say no to anything that distracts you from your one thing. However, they also assert that the rewards of this focused approach to work and life are well worth the effort. In conclusion, the one thing offers a transformative approach to productivity and success. By debunking common myths and offering practical strategies for focusing on the most important tasks, it provides a roadmap for achieving extraordinary results in work and life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a student, a parent, or anyone looking to achieve more with less effort, the one thing offers valuable insights and tools for enhancing your productivity and success. This is a summary of the one thing.